if you're looking to do something, you have to understand what the impact of it is. So if we go back to that gains and drains, we've got rid of the drains. If there's something you want to do that's a gain, think about the impact. And if you can focus on the impact, it's going to become less of a have to and more of a want to.
Yes.
Because as you correctly said before, let's just say I've got to send an email. Oh, I have to get those emails done. It's very, it's trite to say, oh, I'll just say I want to get those emails done. But you know what if you bloody don't want to get those emails done?
Mm.
But instead, if you went, if I get those emails done, that's going to bring me this amount of revenue, and the impact of that revenue will be I'll be able to take, the kids on holiday, or I'll be able to buy whatever I might be. I'll be able to give everyone a pay rise or whatever it might be.
Yep.
Right? So if you look at the impact and work backwards from the impact.
If you want more time, money, freedom, and have a business that's not reliant on you, then you're in the right place. Each week, Mark Creedon, along with some of the very best business minds in the world, will take you through simple, practical steps you can take to create the business you always wanted. From his own practical experience, Mark will show you how to work less, make more, and get the business you always wanted, the one that you deserve. Now here's your host, one of Australia's most sought-after business coaches, Mark Creedon.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Mastermind for Business podcast, the podcast for couples in business, where we help you to spend more time in your life and less time in your business by helping you to scale your business, to grow it so it's less reliant on you, and so that you can scale the business without descaling the relationship. As always, joining me in the chair is Caroline. Caroline, you always get lots of fuss made about you. What's that about?
I do. I seem to make a bit of fuss as well.
The crowd goes wild. Hey, listen, in this episode, we're going to talk about overwhelm. We're going to talk about fatigue.
Yep.
And really about sort of, when to notice it's time to do things different, right? So, Caroline, when is it time to do things different?
I think you can tell it's time to do things different when they're taking longer and either you're snapping or somebody else is snapping. There's always a shortness.
So signs of fatigue, right? So because the thing is that where we're going to go with this, one of the things that we often hear is, oh, my business is different. And you've heard me react to that in all sorts of ways, from, polite ways to F sake, it's not. But in most cases, we know business, particularly so this business, doesn't really change, right? That the principles don't change. But what does vary is when it's a business that's being run by a couple, because you can't, if I'm just working here in the office and I go home, I don't necessarily, maybe I do take that shit home, maybe I don't take that shit home. But if we're both working in this and we both take that shit home, right, then it's a different dynamic.
Totally.
So we've got to be a little bit more aware, I think, of some of the signs that one of us or the other of us is in fatigue. I think it works the same with any kind of business partnership, really.
Yes, it does. And I think, yes, you are 100% correct. And I know that the clients that we've, worked with, the clients that I was speaking to just recently, they have the pressure, they're under so much pressure with not even business partners, it was, their senior leadership. They were really needing to get certain numbers on the board. The pressure was so great. It probably wasn't as big as it was coming at once. It just felt like that. And, the person was just, the overwhelm was huge. And when you have a chat to people and, there's tears in their eyes and you go, okay, you're really overwhelmed. Let's pull back a little bit and get a bit of a grip on that, because they were worried when they went home that they wouldn't be able to cope and not be cranky when they're at home just because of that overwhelming exhaustion.
So that's just all psychobabble, mumbo-jumbo bullshit. You just push through, right? Why can't you just push through?
It's just not possible. We have processes that our little brains have to go through.
Yeah.
There's other ceiling, there are other impacts that are there.
Yeah. And I guess it's like, I always think of it like a bank account. It's like an emotional bank account. And if you keep taking money out of your bank account and you don't put money back in, then eventually you're going to hit the bottom of the tin, and then eventually you're going to go into overdraft.
Yeah.
And so our emotions are like an emotional bank account if we keep taking out of it. So we've got to recognize when we're at fatigue. And I guess the point that you're trying to make is there's ways that we can do that before that fatigue snap time comes.
Yep. There are hidden costs with tiredness.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, there's hidden costs. And the hidden cost to the business, to the relationship, to not just your relationship, but your relationship with other family members, with friends. And we've seen, good friends of ours who are couples running a business where they're just in massive overwhelm, and suddenly, you never see them, and, you never have social time with them. and they don't take holidays, and you can see the impact that has. And it's really interesting because their business goes boom, but their relationship goes bust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's about finding that balance, isn't it?
You can see, if you look sometimes, you just take notice. And sometimes it is purely just being situational awareness, bringing that into your daily sort of activities. If you see that someone's door is closed more than it would normally be, that it's closed for a reason other than if you know there's a lot of appointments going on. It's just that they just need that time out, or
Right. So what you're saying is
what's happening for them is really what you need to ask. Why are they needing to close their door?
Right.
Got the crankies on something, or they're not coping with something.
So you and I are both Ted Lasso fans.
Of
Right.
Lasso.
Yep. And this is something that came out of Ted Lasso. It's actually a Walt Whitman quote. And I remember when I saw it, it reminded me of something that my old man used to say all the time. And that is, be curious, not judgmental. Walt Whitman quote. So I think that one of the things that you can do when you're seeing certain behavior in your business partner that you think is not the way they would normally be. So they get a bit snappy, they get a bit short, maybe they're snappy with the team, maybe they're snappy with a client, maybe they put a little bit less effort, detail, they're less effective, less efficient, all of those sorts of things. Then being curious, not judgmental is probably a good tool, isn't it?
Very good tool.
Yep. And so that's a matter of going, hey, what's going on?
What's behind it?
Yeah.
What is really behind it? It might not be that they're, super busy. It might just be that they're having a situation, be it personal or at work,
Yep.
they just can't get out of their head and it's just playing negative thoughts.
Because I think when you're fatigued, right, it's very hard. Like we often say, it's really hard to make good, objective decisions when you are emotionally, physically, or mentally fatigued. And I think that's a danger in a business too, when you start to make decisions when you're in that state. So if we're talking about for a couple in business, sometimes, I guess the danger is if you're both in that state at the same time, in which case it's time to sort of just take stock and take a break of some sort. But one of the things that you can do with your business partner is if you see a business partner in that position where they're kind of making decisions that you think not quite right, is to understand what's going on for them, tap into that fatigue and maybe find a way that you could take some of that pressure off for a period of time.
Yeah. And it could be something small, like just start the day differently.
Yeah.
Hey, we normally, kick off at 8:30. Let's go for breakfast this morning.
Yep.
Let's go for a coffee this morning. Let's just do something slightly different just to break that routine.
Yeah. So one of the things that, and you'll remember this, we were working with a service business in Sydney many years ago. And the guy that owned the business, he had little kids. It was always tough getting the kids ready for daycare. Like it was a husband and wife running the business. And, the traffic was rubbish getting to the studio. There was all of these issues that they had. It was a creative studio business. And we did something really simple with him, which was when you get to the front door of the studio, stop and wipe your feet.
Mm.
And at the time that you're wiping your feet, just think, I'm wiping away all of the mud and muck that I've walked in this morning before I walk in. And it made a massive difference.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's those little circuit breakers, isn't it?
Yep. I saw this really cool video on, I think it was Instagram, and it sounds really weird, but putting a high five sticker in the mirror in the bathroom.
Mm.
So that encouraging people to give themselves a high five. So that they're acknowledging that they're actually doing some really cool things and they're actually achieving things that might only be little things, but just to tweak their minds a little bit.
Yep.
That they are actually winning and they're proud of themselves.
So there's all those sort of manifestation things you can do. We talk about putting things in the mirror that go, you're amazing and you're wonderful. But you've got something on your mirror at home.
I do.
That just says,
you've got this.
You've got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just that little reminder every morning, you got this.
Yeah.
You got this. Okay. So we're talking about fatigue and we're saying that fatigue has a massive impact potentially on the business, on decision making. And so I guess the next question is, because we sort of said, well, we can keep an eye on the other person and we can be curious, not judgmental. But what do you do if you're going through fatigue? If you just feel like you're just completely overwhelmed, what are some of the things that you can do?
I always find if I get back to basics.
Yep.
Look at what are the priorities. And then once your priorities are done, take some time.
Yep.
Take some time for you, not for the business, but just for you. Whatever maybe you've got a hobby, maybe, there's something that just fills you with joy. Yeah, take some time for you, I think is really important.
Yeah, I think something you often say is that fatigue isn't failure, right? Fatigue isn't failure. It's just feedback that something needs to change.
Yeah.
And so if you're feeling fatigued and you put your hand up about it. But there are some really practical things we can do. So in our Mastermind program, we do this exercise called the gains and drains, right? And it's where we sit down and this is something you can do in the next 7 days. Sit down and you can make a list of all the things, and it's just a brain dump, all the things that drain you. right, in a week? What are the things that are draining you? Pick the top 3. And once you've picked those top 3, you go, all right, what can I do about those top 3? Can I delegate it? Can I automate it? Can I batch it? Can I reduce the amount of time I'm spending on it? Can I try and put a positive spin on it? Can I work out what the outcome or the value of that is? Or can I just stop doing it?
That's right.
Yeah. And then the second part of the exercise is the gains exercise. So if I've got rid of those drains, now I've got some time. What am I going to do with that time in order to create a gain? Yeah. Which is sort of what you were talking about is drains you versus sustains you.
Yes.
Yep. And you've got to balance that out, haven't you?
Yeah, I think, and sometimes you can actually reword a drain.
Yep.
And change the process of the drain to actually be a gain. It sounds really strange, but if you've got something that you just sort of think, oh no, I've got to do those emails and I really don't want to, it's just draining me every day. You go, do you know what? If I send those 5 emails, that means that could increase my revenue, that could increase my client numbers, by 5 a day or whatever that might be. So change your wording around on it and it can actually be a totally different shift in the mindset.
So you know how much I love reading, and I'm reading a book called The 7 Commitments of a Great Team. We'll talk more about it in future episodes. But one of the things they talk about there is this concept of reframing, right? So if you go, I've got to do this. So if you walk around going, oh, I have to ring, or I have to finish that proposal, I have to, as opposed to I want to. But how do you shift from I have to I want to? I mean, is it just a matter of going, well, if I look at what the outcome is or what the benefit is?
Yeah, I think that falls into the purpose. What's the purpose of that? What's in it for me? What's the impact? There's a good purpose and there's a really good impact. And you can see what the impact is and you're clear on that. There's a time frame on it. Then I don't think it's as hard.
So we talk about it all the time, right? In Mastermind, we've got a number of worksheets that we use with our clients, but that's one of the things that we talk about all the time is if you're looking to do something, you have to understand what the impact of it is. So if we go back to that gains and drains, we've got rid of the drains. If there's something you want to do that's a gain, think about the impact. And if you can focus on the impact, it's going to become less of a have to and more of a want to.
Yes.
Because as you correctly said before, let's just say I've got to send an email. Oh, I have to get those emails done. And it's very like it's trite to say, oh, I'll just say I want to get those emails done. But what if you bloody don't want to get those emails done?
Mm.
But instead, if you went, if I get those emails done, that's going to bring me this amount of revenue, and the impact of that revenue will be I'll be able to take, the kids on holiday, or I'll be able to buy whatever I might be. I'll be able to give everyone a pay rise or whatever it might be.
Yep.
Right. So if you look at the impact and work backwards from the impact.
Yep. I was working with a client the other day and they hate following up money.
Right. And
just like nobody likes it, really. Not everybody likes the money, but nobody likes to have to follow it up.
Well, people don't like to ask for money, do they?
No.
Yeah.
And they've done the work and they did a great job at the work. They know the client's happy with the work. But it was just that they just really didn't want to do the prickly part of making the phone call. It's just yuck. And we sort of worked through and went, okay, what's the purpose? What's going to be that outcome for you? Now, we got to the stage where we're like, the outcome is going to be getting your wages this week, not having any problems with your wages, not having any problems with, the super ambassadors heading up. Yeah. And it was simply a matter of write an email about what you think you want to say.
Yep.
And then practice it a couple of times and then give them a call. And it was really cool because in the afternoon they went, that wasn't a problem. They paid their $25,000 and it was all good.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah. Worried about sick.
I saw that email come through and I thought it was a really cool outcome. So well done to you on that coaching session. So we started this episode talking about overwhelm and the potential for burnout and fatigue. And I think fatigue often comes from doing the same thing or getting caught in doing the things that you don't really like to do or don't want to do. So in the last episode, we spoke about the importance of doing a time audit. Here we've spoken about if I can just take the things that I kind of don't want to be doing and turn them into something that I want to do because of the outcome, you're likely to diminish the fatigue that comes from doing those things.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing too is just a bit of I think you refer to it as a bit of an energy check, Caroline. We sort of go like, hey, maybe once a week, just check in with your partner to go, how's your energy today?
Yeah. Where are you running out of energy? Yeah. And, they call it Wednesday's hump day. It might not be hump day because it's a day that you're getting some really great, I know I said share, but that you're getting some really good things, completed there. So hump day might not be hump day.
Yeah. So if we're talking fatigue, simple tricks that you can implement. What's one thing that people could do in the next 7 days? We've spoken about, well, you can look at your gains and drains.
Yep.
Identify what are the things that are, I think there's two things. One, identify the things that are draining you. Two, be honest about your own energy situation. And three, check in with your partner.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Notice, have that situational awareness.
Yep.
I mean, we do that with our safety. We should do it within our walls as well.
Yep. Interestingly, because we sort of do it here. I mean, I remember clearly walking past someone who was just like going, oh, man, I can't deal with this stuff. We went, okay, stop. We're going to get in and what's going on? Curious, not judgmental. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, well, it's your job. So curious, not judgmental. What's going on? They were overwhelmed. They were fatigued. All it took was to take a little bit of that pressure off. Bang, they were back on track. And, within a couple of days, they were back firing on all cylinders.
Yep.
Cool. Love it. These are the sort of things that we teach our clients all the time, metropolimastermind.com.au. If you've got value, if there's something that you've got that you would like to share, please share the podcast. And if you've got something that you'd like to see us cover off on, just comment on our socials and we would be only too happy. So just put a comment in the box below and we'll be only happy to address that for you. Until we see you next time, Caroline, please make sure you spend time with those who matter most, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yep. See you in the next episode. We're talking about leadership.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.